Broadcasting live worldwide.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Do you remember when you were caught up on your last week of your senior year of high school? Do you remember when you were told to line up and practice as you were prepared to hear your name being called? You remember when you were given your cap and gown and you realized, my high school days are over, bring on the college years. Today, on this Tuesday, June 30th, this last day of June, I thought it would be only fitting to take a look back when we all graduated high school. Congratulations to the class of 2021. Have faith, let it begin. Starts right now.
Hi, Daddy.
Ariel, can you say have faith?
Again.
On June 16th, 2018, a show designed for you, the Daily Commuter, went live. A weekly show all about faith. A show with motivational topics, inspirational stories, and personal testimony set out to change the world.
Hello, my name is Amari, and today we are back on another episode of Have Faith and Let's Begin. Hi, my name is Isabella, and you're listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Hi, I am Mia. You are listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Welcome to Have Faith. Let it begin. Here's your host, Angel Santana.
Can you say have faith, let it begin? Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Daddy loves you. Daddy loves you. Ariel, can you say have faith?
Again.
Let it begin?
Again.
Say have faith.
Again.
Let it begin.
No.
No? Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this final day in June as we hopefully have a final heat wave day as this heat has been brutal. We want to welcome all of you to another episode of Have Faith, Let It Begin, and another way of starting off with a Remember When, which has become a very popular format here at Have Faith, Let It Begin. And let's do that. Remember when. But before I start like that, let me just take a look back. I graduated high school in 1997. Dating myself there. And it was a good year. For me, it was a year of new beginnings, new hope, new vision. I can say that confidently because that was the year that I had back surgery. It was, September of 96 that I had back surgery, and this was my senior year. And I missed out on a lot of first couple of months of high school. I was bedridden, then I had to be homeschooled, and finally I was able to walk comfortably and be strong enough and able enough to go and return back to school. And it was a 1-year recuperation, a lot of physical therapy, and I was ready to go. But I remember looking back and hearing all these graduation stories and watching all these parties as I walked Cody and seeing all the families, with the signs, congratulations, class of 2021. It got me thinking, how often do you think back when you were a high school graduate? Don't worry, we will do one for college, but let's talk about the high school years. Let's do that now. Remember when you became a freshman? When you graduated 8th grade and maybe you were the top person of that middle school, and then you shifted over and it's like you started all over again. You were at the bottom of the totem pole. You walked around and everybody looked bigger. People had facial hair. People dressed differently. Some people acted differently. Some people didn't have a problem sticking up to them for themselves and maybe disrespecting a teacher or telling a teacher when they felt they were wrong. Remember when we would go into our 10th grade and become sophomores, and you felt as if you were escaped that freshman curse, and you were just starting to get your feet wet, starting to make new friends. Maybe you were starting to date. Remember when the dances became more formal, more of a meaningful feeling as you welcomed in homecomings, and maybe you were asked early to the junior prom. Remember when you were a junior and you realized you were just 1 year away from your senior year and you were already looking at colleges, or maybe colleges were looking at you. Maybe you were an athlete and you realized now it's time to put the pedal to the metal. And then, of course, enjoying your first junior prom, going out and having a blast and renting your first tuxedo and taking out a date, or maybe you went solo, or you went out with a bunch of friends and you got your limousines and you had great times. You realized maybe who you want to be at that moment in life. Maybe you already knew what you wanted to be, or you wanted destined to be. Remember when you became a senior, when you realized you were the elite, this was your final year, you were leaving, you were graduating. It was time to say goodbye to a lot of friends. You knew that at one point or another, you were going to lose some friends, or maybe keep friends for a lifetime. Remember when you would have people sign your yearbooks? I mean, they were doing that every year, but this particular year was different. You knew you would not see people ever again. You knew that the chances of keeping that girlfriend or boyfriend were slowly slipping away. Remember when that last day of school and the bell rang and you realized that it was time to prepare yourself. But you take a step back and think about your senior prom and realizing that this was your last dance. Maybe for some of us, it was our last romance. We partied. We had many different outings and dances and homecomings. But something about this last year was something different, something special. Remember the day that you got woken up by the alarm and you realized this was the day you were graduating. You were becoming an adult. You were getting ready for the next chapter in your life. Remember as the music played and you took your steps, 1 step, 2 steps, you lined up, you smiled. You were told to take your tassels and move them from one to the other side. And they announced you, class of 1997, class of 1998, class of 64, class of 75, class of 87, class of 93, class of 2000, class of 2005, and so on and so forth. And you took your cap and you threw it all the way in the air, not caring if it fell in somebody else's lap, but you celebrated. You walked around and you told people you were excited. And maybe some of you had the all-night grad where you stayed all night and hung out with your friends, and you realized it was the last time you get to walk around the school. Remember when that next September came around and you knew that you didn't have to catch the bus, that you drove yourself to your first days of college. Yes, high school years for some of us were the best. For others, maybe they weren't. Maybe they couldn't wait to get out of high school. Maybe they were bullied. Maybe they were just not happy where they were. I'd like to concentrate on the positive today and think about those teachers that influenced us, those teachers who guided us and helped us, who put us in the right path, who saw something in us, believed in us, and knew we would be destined to do greater things. Remember when you heard your first bad news in the sense of losing a high school person, high school classmate? Yeah, we do focus on the positive today, but we can't help but remember that many classmates went on to be with the Lord too soon. But their memory will last a lifetime. High school years for myself were fun. I hung out with a lot of older people. I had a lot of laughs. I lost a lot of friends. I gained a lot of new friends. I had my heart broken. I was sad. I was ridiculed at times. Some days I was told that I was chunky. Not so much from classmates, but from home. But it was still during my high school years. I was developing and learning how to be a man, being taught how to respect women, learning how to date, knowing what I wanted to be in life. Was at the time was a counselor or a sports announcer. Not knowing that deep down inside I was literally maybe 3 years away from introducing myself personally to the Lord, and then getting on to the biggest journeys of my life. When was the last time you thought about your high school years? When was the last time you realized where you were during that time? Do you wish you can go back? Do you remember the days of how you felt when you were still coming home? When you were trying to figure out what the best outfit to wear? Where if you were going to go to the school dance? If you were going to partake in maybe a field trip? Do you remember those days? One can't help but think about those that are dealing with the COVID world and the class of 2020 that couldn't even have a graduation. Things may be taken away from us, but they can't take away our diplomas. They can't take away our GEDs. They can't take away our abilities to better ourselves. Maybe back in the day when you were in high school, you were a jerk. Let's be honest. Maybe as you got out of high school and you went to college, you realized that wasn't who you were supposed to be. Maybe you grew up, you got wiser. Maybe you got more mature and you realized that's not who I wanted to be. That's not who I should have been. Maybe after those days you went into college and you realized that you were even a bigger jerk than you were in high school. We'll touch that base on another day. But today, let's leave on this note. Graduation is fun. High school at times were fun. Maybe not the greatest times for many of us, but for some of us, it was the years that we can look back and laugh on, open up our yearbooks, read our comments and our notes, and realize those people that actually meant a great deal to us and what we've meant to them. High school days and high school memories will always live on in our hearts and our thoughts. And maybe, just maybe, when we reach our reunion days and we see those people that didn't treat us well, didn't acknowledge our presence, maybe, just maybe, they'll shake our hands and say, hey, I didn't mean to do what I did with, to you back in the day. I'd like to know who you are as a person. And if you're one of those people that was those bully types, maybe as your reunion comes around, if you see those individuals that you did them wrong, maybe it's time you shook their hand and said, I'm sorry. I hope you understand that I was a jerk back then, and I did not mean to do what I did. And think about that today. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we look back today on our graduation years and our years of high school and our 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. We think back about the day when we walked down and our name was called. And we walked down that aisle and that red carpet and we shook the hand of the superintendent and they gave us our diplomas. We remember the days of when we did all that we could to sacrifice ourselves as far as being young children. And not knowing what we were doing in life actually meant the preparations of what tomorrow would bring. For all the graduates out there, happy graduation. To the class of 2021, may God be with you. May God love you. May God trust in you. May God provide you with peace. And may He show His face on you. May He grant you the abilities to be whoever you want to be. And may God be with you today and always. And never forget, have faith. Let it begin. Thank you for listening to another episode of Have Faith, Let It Begin. That's right, Ariel. We're done with another show. And it's always great to have this show with you, my love. You know, we're going to encourage each and every person to listen to our show every single weekday. That's right, you and I are going to help change the world. Do you think that you can do that for me? Huh? Yeah, you know you can. She does. We want to let you know, and yes, we encourage you to listen to our show each and every weekday, and it's going to be live at 7:30. Make sure you're subscribed to our show. Make sure you get ready, fasten those seatbelts, because Ariel and I and my family are going to bring you a new topic, a new story each and every day, right? Isn't that right, Ariel? Yeah. And she's smiling at me. Guys, enjoy your day.